Many of you have asked me to do a video about what it was like working with Peter North. Well, at this point in time, I was under contract with Vivid Video. And with Vivid, I didn't have as much control as I did when I was under contract with Caribbean Films or Caballero or even Zane Entertainment. So, unfortunately, Paul Thomas was not the most professional person to work with. And I never got the script with Vivid until I got to the set. Sometimes I had page after page of monologue that I'm supposed to memorize. There was one movie, I can't remember the name of it, where I was playing the other woman, and I'm talking to the camera a lot about what it's like to be the other woman. And he would get mad at me if I couldn't remember my dialogue, or my monologue in this case. But he didn't give me the script until I sat in the makeup artist chair. So I had 5 or 10 minutes to memorize 1 or 2 pages of monologue. I'd like to see some of you people try that. It's not easy, believe me. And when the cast and the crew are sitting there going, "Come on, we're waiting on you," it's even more difficult. You feel all the pressure. So at this point of time, when I was paired with Peter North, I knew what to expect in the action scene. I do my research. I know what to expect. Not a problem. I prepared for that, and we'll get to that in a minute. But I was focused on trying to remember my lines. Also, I believe this was in Indian Summer or something like that. Anyway, this particular film, my medicine man, one of my favorite medicine men, his name was Harley, I'll call him Harley. He was on the set, and he wanted us to do certain things, certain teachings, which would have been nice if we could have incorporated those into the movie. And I think the public, the viewing audience, would have probably enjoyed that to a degree. You know, a little bit of education, a little bit of something different, you know, rather than the same slam wham type thing. But no, we couldn't do that. So I was rather stressed. I was trying to please Paul Thomas and get along with him and make sure that I remembered my lines that I had just been given 15 minutes ago. And at the same time, trying to appease my medicine man and trying to explain to him that, well, I didn't have as much control in this film as I did in some of the others, and unfortunately, we really couldn't do that. I was trying to be the go-between between everybody. So when it came time to the fun part, as you might call it, the action scene, which for me, I really enjoyed acting far better than the sex stuff. So that really wasn't the fun part to me. Paul Thomas took away my fun by making it difficult to memorize my lines. If I had had the script a couple days in advance and I knew my lines off the back of my hand like nothing, and I could just whip those lines out and I could actually work on the delivery, the acting, I would have been in heaven. But no, that's not how it went down. So, bottom line, I was very stressed. I was trying to make other people happy. I was trying to do what was expected of me. And I didn't really have the luxury of the time that I needed to do the job correctly, in my humble opinion. So when it came time to working one-on-one with Peter, I was ready. I knew what to expect, like I said. So when it came to that point in time, I knew this was going to go far. Let's just say that. I'm trying to dance around YouTube's algorithms and their censorship block. And if I say certain words or allude to certain things, they're going to put the kibosh on me, and you will never see this video. So a lot of you have asked, why don't I just come out and say it? Well, that's why. It's not because I'm afraid to say it. It's because YouTube censors me, okay? So let's dance around that, read between the lines. Here we go. When it came to that point in time, I knew what to expect. And when it happened, I was ready. But that went way over my head. Way over my head. I was laying there and, whoa, right over my head. I didn't expect that. Yeah, that was kind of interesting. And like I said, I had seen his scenes before, so I knew what to expect. but that was way over my head. Yeah, let's just put it that way. It was hard not to express amazement on camera at that point in time. But I tried to be cool, roll with it. And it was great, Like I said, I was trying to be the go-between between the medicine man and Paul Thomas and memorize these lines that I had just been given moments ago. So trying to be professional, respectful, please everybody and make everybody happy, and trying to enjoy the scene at the same time proved to be very difficult, if not impossible. Thanks, Paul Thomas. It could have been so much more fun and so much more enjoyable had he been a little more professional. I seriously doubt that the night before a shoot, nobody knew what script they were going to shoot. I don't think it would have been asking too much to have had the script a few days in advance. Vivid Video didn't seem to run by the same rules as everybody else that I had worked with in that business. I had always been given the script well in advance of the day of shoot, but never, ever, not once was Paul Thomas and Vivid Video ever capable of giving me the script the day before I got to the shoot. I always got it when I was sitting in the makeup artist chair. And the makeup artist is saying, close your eyes, I can't do your eyes. And I'm trying to read the script so I know what I'm supposed to say in the next 15 minutes. It makes it really impossible. If you've never been in that situation, I know it's hard to comprehend, but trust me, it really is undercutting your talent when you don't give them the script until the very last minute. It's almost as if you're setting them up for failure. And many times I felt as though Vivid Video, and particularly Paul Thomas, were specifically trying to undermine me and set me up for failure. For example, that one movie I was talking about where they had me do all of that dialogue directly to the camera, page after page. I'm talking 5-10 minutes of monologues that I'm supposed to deliver right to the camera flawlessly. It's supposed to be memorized, and when it isn't, believe me, I caught hell. Because time is money on a set. The talent, the people that are working there, the crew, everybody is waiting on you to finish so they can go on to the next thing and hopefully go home soon. So a lot of pressure. And when you're feeling that kind of pressure, and you feel like nobody is on your side, not even your husband who's supposed to be, you really can't enjoy the fun parts. You're not able to relax and enjoy it. You're focusing on what you got to remember to say next. And are they going to do what they're supposed to do? Because so often they don't. And I'm not talking about people like Peter North or Randy Spears or Randy West. I'm not talking about the talent. I'm talking about the behind-the-scenes crew, and in particular, Paul Thomas and Vivid Video. They made it damn near impossible to enjoy any of the fun things on the set, whether that be the action scene, if you consider that the fun part, or the acting, which I considered to be the fun part. They made it much more of a stressful job than it ever should have been. It should have been fun. It should have been, hey, we got a great script. Let's pretend we're these people. Let's act these parts and let's have a little fun on the side. But with them, it never was. It certainly was with Caribbean films and with the Zane brothers and Caballero and some of the other companies I worked with, but not so much with Vivid, unfortunately. And that just has to do with their lack of professionalism, their lack of preparedness. They're not taking it seriously. So I wanted this to be about Peter North because he deserves it. He's a nice guy. He made it easy. He did the best he could to make a bad situation good. But as good as he was, and as hard as he tried, all I can really remember about the whole situation is how angry I was that I didn't get the script to the last minute, and that I was trying to appease the medicine man, and that I was trying to appease Paul Thomas and make everybody happy. And nobody was working to make my job any easier. As a matter of fact, I felt like they were specifically trying to make it more difficult. So it could have been much better. It could have been much more enjoyable. But that certainly wasn't Peter North's fault. He did everything he could to make it as nice as it could be. And I'm very grateful for that. He was a great guy. Fun to work with. Thanks for watching.